Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Galaxy signing in for Comic-Con Radio. Coverage of pop culture events from around the globe. Amazing interviews with celebrities. Daily recaps and reviews of popular television. The Walking Dead. Z Nation. Van Helsing. DC Titans. Flash. The Legends of Tomorrow. Black Lightning. American Horror Story. The Green Arrow. Movie reviews. Everything Comic-Con and fandom from around the globe. Comic-Con Radio. Get ready to enter our universe. Let's go.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Galaxy on Comic-Con Radio. Today we have an amazing gentleman. He's a cool dude, been around in Hollywood for a long time. You've seen him in Bad Boys 2, The A-Team, Runaway Bride, American Gangster, and on an amazing TV show called The Narcos. He stars in Midnight Texas, which all of you fans out there going nuts over. We have the amazing, the awesome, the cool, and the little under the weather, Yul Vazquez. Hey, Yul, what's up, buddy? How are you?
Hey, Galaxy, what's going on, man? That's the greatest introduction I've ever had. I'm not sure I can live up to that. How's it going, man?
Pretty good. Thank you for coming out. I know you're under the weather, your throat, you've been coughing. So people have to know that you took the time to come on Comic-Con Radio for the fans, and that's amazing. Thank you so much.
No, man, it's a pleasure. Without the fans, none of this works. So I'm very appreciative to the fans, appreciative of the good fortune that I've had. I never take anything for granted. So it's my pleasure to be here with you, brother.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I have followed your career for a long time, from back when you were in Bad Boys 2, back in 2003, to the A-Team, to 99 with Runaway Bride, to a tremendous amount of hit movies and television shows. Your character in each show or movie you do is similar. You have that same calm, steady, charismatic character. Is that how you are in real life?
No, I don't think I'm that calm in real life. I mean, maybe I am. I think ultimately every character you do has to be a reflection of the person playing the character. I've done some things that were a little, the Seinfeld stuff is definitely not a relaxed. He's a calculated person. He's a person that does a great deal of listening, which I think is the key to any good performance. So, yeah, no, I don't know that I'm that calm in real life. Maybe a little bit.
It's cool to be each way. And, you're an awarded actor. You've been nominated for SAG Award for American Gangster. That was one of my all-time favorite movies. I loved you in that movie. And to be nominated for a Screen Actors Guild Award is pretty great. How did that feel when they nominated you? That's
really great. That was actually my second nomination because we won the SAG Award for Traffic. So I won for Traffic. It was amazing. It was especially from SAG, our union, and as you know, and it's a badge of honor to be in SAG and be under the banner, under the wings of SAG. So, and that is comprised of actors, and the people voting for you are fellow actors. There's no really ultimate, and I really mean this, there's no greater award in this than the respect of your peers. I know a lot of actors that are highly successful that are not respected by their peers. That would be deadly for me. But I've been very fortunate. I have a Tony nomination for a Broadway show, and good stuff. I don't know. I just I try not to Galaxy. I try to take all these things, to be honest with you, with a grain of salt, because all these awards and all these things are just, I don't even know. At the end of the day, it doesn't really mean much. You know what I mean? Ultimately, the only thing that means anything is the work that you did. That stands for, if you're pleased with it, if it's received, if the fans like it, if you weren't critically acclaimed and nobody gave you a nomination, but fans said to you, come up to you and go, hey man, when you did that, that really touched me. That reminded me of my dad. That's like super more rewarding than any award to be. I know it's cliche as hell, but it's really true.
It's really cool. You're very humble, and that shows the side of you that everybody sees in you, and that's why you got the SAG Award from your peers, and also for Traffic as well, because I wanted to talk about Traffic separate. Traffic was another all-time favorite movie of our whole entire team over here, and you were amazing in that as well, and you won that one, and also your Tony Award for your Broadway play, The Mofo with the Hat. I try to be curse-free, but you can curse if you want. That's a big deal.
Well, it's a play with an unmentionable title. Just imagine that play from a producerial standpoint where you can't actually advertise the name of the play.
I know, right?
you can see how that could be problematic for the people who financed the play. And what's crazy, it's a huge, huge success. You know, I remember Chris Rock went on Oprah. He couldn't say the name of the play on Oprah. They called it The Mother, the blank. You know, he's like, Oprah's calling it The Mother. Yeah, it was unbelievable. It was amazing.
Ultimately, it was your acting skills and your co-stars and all that made it shine, because I saw the marketing for that and nobody could say the name on, regular television because nobody's allowed to. But the people knew what's up, and for it to be awarded so many awards, it means a lot. It's a big deal, and you did amazing in it.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
And that shows your character. You have such a type of persona because, look, you won a Tony Award on a Broadway play. You're in Traffic. What a serious role. You're in Bad Boys and this and that. And then all of a sudden, you land in Midnight Texas, right? And
yeah, Midnight Texas. He's a weretiger.
There you go, weretiger. And how does it feel playing a weretiger and that kind of character coming from all these different acclaimed roles?
Well, I'm actually 1/4 wolf.
Okay.
I'm kidding.
Actually, tiger, right? 1/4 tiger.
It was
right?
the weretiger aspect of that character was not the important thing, to be honest, for me. It's a very expensive digital tiger that was cost prohibitive, I think, in many ways for them. But the conflicted man is what was interesting to me. And when I spoke to my first conversations with Monica Breen and David Janellari about it, that's really what we talked about. At the end of the conversation, they go, "Oh, by the way, he's a weretiger." And I went, "I'm sorry, what did you say?" Like, "Oh yeah, he becomes a weretiger." Because I didn't know the books. I'd never read the books, so I didn't know. So I'm like, "Wait, a weretiger?" And then I said, "Hold on a second. I'm not going to be like in a tiger suit, right?" They're like, they laugh. Like, no. It's going to be this beautiful tiger. I'll go, okay. Because tiger suit, that I'm not doing. It was interesting. To me, the most interesting thing about that man was the turmoil that he lived his everyday life in.
Did you feel what he was living in when you saw the script? Did you feel that in your heart, and that's why that attracted you to the role?
Well, I mean, I think any human understands duality and living in turmoil. We're conflicted every single day. So, it's just in varying degrees, but I have a great amount of turmoil in my, since my childhood. I came from Cuba. I was a little kid. My family, I'm an immigrant. So I can understand a lot of turmoil. So, yeah, but that was the really only thing that was interesting to me about that.
You having such a great filmography and all that, and when you said, "I'm not wearing a tiger outfit," I wouldn't expect you wearing a tiger outfit. During the whole season 1 and part of season 2, when you made your exit because you wanted to go find yourself, Nestor Carbonell, he took your power, right, and he made you human again. That gave you a release.
Yeah.
Watching you being that character, we never expected him to change. Was that something that you had a part in, that you wanted to stay as human as possible during the role, or is that something that was their idea?
I mean, to be perfectly honest with you, I had very little say in what they wrote. I think the tiger was cost prohibitive for them. The tiger was like $300,000 digital effect. Using the tiger was very, very expensive. And ultimately, it's not that interesting. It's just a tiger running around slashing people. I mean, personally, I'd rather watch people interacting with other people and trying to work out their lives, and deal with their stuff. But, that's just me. But, it is a horror show in the end. And I guess horror fans want to see him running around, going nuts.
We actually like that you didn't turn into the weretiger that often. We liked the character. You were that fatherly character. And I know you weren't a priest. You took the priest's persona because of the situation that happened. The weretiger went berserk, killed the priest. You came and opened the church. You showed your backstory. It was actually the best move to keep you as human as possible, to be like the guiding light. And I feel that the writers took the show to this like crazy, things are going buck wild there because you're not there. And I think you were like that mold. How do you feel? Do you feel that your character was that mold for everyone?
I think it was a character that anchored the show to truth. To be honest with you, it's going to sound insane to you. I've never watched it. I don't watch anything I do. So it's hard for me to tell you. I think once you remove that anchor, I think then it's untethered. And then I think chaos can ensue. But I think that that's where they wanted to take the show. I think they wanted it to crank it up to, I guess, wherever it's gone to. What I saw in the scripts that were coming down, when I was there. I think that that's where they wanted to go. And, that's up to them to do. You know what I mean? The actors have very little say, have no say in what is going to be written or what is coming down. It's literally, you read the script and it's like, I'm learning it for the first time.
Why is it that you don't like watching what you create? Because the public loves it. You get awards from your peers. Why is it that you don't watch what you like to create?
To be perfectly honest with you, because I think the memory of making these things is usually better than the final product. I have a memory because I was there and I did it. I have a perspective that nobody else does. So when I watch it, I see all the things that maybe could have been, and you don't have that perspective. You watch it and you can enjoy it because you don't know anything else that was happening there that day when we shot that thing. You know what I mean? I don't think it's important for actors to watch what they do. Also, once you do it, so much of it is out of your control. Like once you do the performance and it's handed off to the editors and the powers that be, it's out of your hands. You know what I mean? They'll chop that thing up any way they want to. So sometimes it can be troubling to watch it back.
Absolutely. Oh, no. I speak to so many people in your field. A lot of them mention these things. A lot of the newer ones like to watch it, but you've been around, and I think for you it's more of that memory, which is such an amazing answer. You're absolutely right. The memories, the things you take with you, those are the moments that you love, and nobody else will know that but you and those people in that situation. Coming from Cuba as a child, did you ever think you would be where you're at today?
No, my sister and my mother came to America, didn't speak English, got a job as a waitress, joined a theater company in Miami that was comprised of Cuban-American actors, exiled Cuban-American actors. And they would do plays and they would throw me in plays because I was the default little kid that was around, but I didn't want to be an actor. I wanted to be a guitar player. I am a guitar player. I've been playing guitar since I was 10 years old. I mean, it's art. Like my path into an artistic life was defined by the time I was 5 or 6 years old. Could I have imagined where I would get to? No. I don't think anybody can really imagine that. I think anybody that tells you that they did, I think is full of shit. But I think that you can have, and I think it is important to have a target, to have a goal, to have a career. Like for me, it was like, I want to be like that guy. And you have a target that you're aiming for, but you're never going to know where you're going to land because the road is going to take you. It's going to wind and it's going to go up and down. And as long as you keep that North Star, in your sights, then you have an anchor. I mean, but could I have told you where I was going to be? No. English is my second language. I learned English when I went to school. My mother spoke Spanish to me in my house until I went to kindergarten. And every day to me is a wonder, to be honest with you. I never take anything for granted. Everything is like, okay, I think keeping that sense of wonder is helpful, I think, in an artist's life.
You're absolutely right. It is. It's very helpful. I can hear the passion in your voice. You're in a couple of bands. You're in Urgent and Diving for Pearls, and you guys had a couple of hits that went on the Hot 100,
Correct.
Billboard Hot 100 list. And when you were in the band, and I know bands, they break up, was the breakup of the band the reason why you went into acting? What caused you to go into acting? Because I know you didn't want to do it as a child.
It's interesting. When I was in Diving for Pearls, which was the last band, that I was in, we had just been gotten released by Epic. We had done a record for Epic, and we were trying to shop a deal trying to go to another label, and the lead singer's girlfriend worked for the woman who became my first agent. I had really long hair. I think Oliver Stone was making that movie about the door. And she said to me, my boss is submitting people, and I was like, and her and I used to talk about acting because I always loved acting and I loved watching great actors because it's crazy because my mom was an actress and my grandmother worked in the box office of a movie theater for 35 years. So my grandmother would talk to me about all these amazing actors because my grandmother would see every movie, So she'd tell me about all these people, And I always loved acting and I loved certain actors and I would watch things. But it wasn't until that I went and met with her boss and then eventually wound up going to audition for Billy Hopkins, one of the great gentlemen casting directors of our business, still in casting. And that's where I met Billy. And while they didn't cast me in the doors, Billy did bring me in later for another movie that became my first job. So Billy gave me my first job, and I just spoke to Billy the other day. Billy's cast me in so many things, but he's still in my life as the guy that I adore, and I always remember that, he took a shot. He gave me a break. I remember he just kept bringing me in for this movie, and I got a part in it. Then I was in acting class, which is where I met Sam Rockwell, who became my best friend. Once I went into that first movie, they cut all my hair off because the movie was set in the 50s. I hadn't been in a band since, but I hang out with music guys. Rob Halford from Judas Priest is one of my best friends. I've known Rob for 25 years. I hang out with Ian Astbury from The Cult. In fact, there's a YouTube video of me and Ian doing an acoustic gig in New York. Maynard Keenan from Tool, Perfect Circle, is a guy that I'm very close to. So I'm with music guys all the time. I will always be a guitar player. Music is very important to me, and I'm surrounded by, usually in my home in New York, by musical instruments. So that's a very long answer to your question, but I hope that answered something for you.
It answered a lot. You're a very in-depth person. You have a deep history. There's so much going on. Coming from Cuba, your mother was an actress. You were in plays as a child. And, you got your musical career going on. You kept ties in the musical world. And then all of a sudden, you're in all these amazing movies. And then you get married to an amazing voice actress. And she is the Disney legend. She did the voice of Princess Jasmine. Has she helped you?
I think we help each other. She's been Princess Jasmine for a long time. She went through the Ralph Breaks the Internet premiere in LA, and she's a Disney legend. When she does the voice for children and they just go sort of nuts. She just did another Jasmine recording the other day. She's been doing that for years. It's still going. Anytime you hear that voice, that's her.
Legendary voice. People probably go nuts about it, and you're with her every day. So do you close your eyes sometimes and you imagine Jasmine?
It's funny. Sometimes she cooks dinner. Jasmine cooks dinner. But if you're interested at all, you should go to my website. My website has nothing to do with acting. It's my photography and my paintings. That's another side of me that I never talk about, really. But I have this site that just sits there. And if you're interested, just go to it and look at it.
What is the site address? I was actually going to bring up your painting and photography stuff because that's why I said you're such an in-depth person. What is your website address?
It's yulvazquez.com. And Vasquez is with a Z, not an S.
That's right, with a Z because it's unique. Your website.
Leave the S off for savings.
There you go. I went through your website and it looks amazing. The work you're doing. You're a very creative guy. Like you said, at age of 3, that artistic magic went into your soul, and you've touched everything in art. You painting, photography, music, acting. There's nothing else left for you that you haven't dabbled in, and you're doing really well in all of them. How did you get into painting and photography?
Photography, my mother bought me a camera at a thrift store where I grew up in Miami Beach, at a church thrift store. It was like 75 cents. And that sort of launched my love of photography. I've had a camera my whole life, really, but the last maybe 10 years, if not more, it's expanded, and I've been shooting with different formats. And Steven Soderbergh gave me as a present this beautiful panoramic camera, and I shoot these sort of wide 24 by 65 millimeter negatives. I'm very fortunate. I get to travel all over the place to go to work, and I have these beautiful sets and beautifully lit places. I have to photograph it. So I do. But I'm doing. The actor Jordi Moya.
Yeah.
I'm doing a collaboration with Jordi because Jordi paints. So we're taking my photographs and we've blown them up really big, and he's painting over them. So
wow, that's going to be amazing.
It should be pretty cool. I'm very excited. I've already delivered the photographs to him, and he's in Madrid now. So but he's a guy I know very well, and we just wanted to do something together. But and then painting just seemed like a natural sort of succession. I just kind of wanted to, it's all self-taught. I don't have any, clearly. I'm more, it's like folk art. I'm influenced by a lot of the spiritual ideas that were in my house as a child. You know what I mean? So that's a lot of where the art comes from, the painting. But yeah, I like to be creative every single day. I think if you're an artist or an actor, I think you should. I think it's important to spend 15 minutes a day or something and just be creative. You know what I mean? So, I also make these weird little short films on Instagram, and I score them, and I synthesize them, and I record the sounds, and it just, I know it's crazy, but it just keeps me, I don't know, it keeps me electric in a way. It's like a current, it keeps me like plugged into something, man, to something from another world, there's things from other worlds that come to us, and I try to let those things come in.
It's like that icon on your website. On the bottom of it, it's that unique face with the little sparks or lightning bulbs coming out or coming in. It's like, so that's like a sign of creativity for you. It's your artistic.
That's exactly right. That's my logo.
It's cool, man. I dig it. I love your photos
too. I know we. Thanks, man. Thank you, man. I know we went off the rails, but it's kind of it's kind of me, man. I'm kind of an off the rails kind of guy.
Hey, man, you got to look at it this way. It's Comic-Con radio, but the person's the person, and everything that you do makes you. So whether you're a character on a particular movie that these fans like or those fans like, Comic-Con fans, they're into Comic-Con fandom and all these things like that, but they're normal people as well, and they watch every other movie and everything else. And you're so diverse. So to understand who you are, you're our guest. We have to understand everything that you do. And your photography is a big deal because I see your photos and the way you catch these different scenes and the black and whites. And you have one with a lady, she's pregnant by a poolside, and then that little child held by her mom. These are like big statements. It's like visions coming from your mind. So it's really cool.
Well, they are statements. I'm trying to say. Sometimes they're polemical, I'm trying to point the finger at people and saying, I came across a gentleman. I was in Miami recently, and I was riding my bicycle. Couldn't believe what I was seeing. There was a homeless man sleeping on the grass, and his blanket was a tattered American flag. It looked staged. I was like, this can't be real. And I took a picture of it, Generally don't like to photograph. I think personally that things that are in the public sphere, it's tough to people to say, don't photograph me. Because I think if you allowed that to happen, I think some of the most iconic pictures that we've seen in history exist. But I generally will not photograph a homeless person, but this was such a sign of the times. And he was asleep, and I took his photo, and I just walked away. Sometimes I walk up to people in Albuquerque. We were shooting Midnight Texas. Downtown Albuquerque, I would see people, and I would say, hey, could I take your photo? Like they're asking for money. I would say, could I hire you as a model? Here, I'll give you $10 if you let me take your photo. And they're like, sure, I'll take their photo. So everybody wins. I get the photo, they get $10, and, we all go.
It's the right moment at the right time. You took the photo because you saw something and it interpreted something. It looks really good and it brings meaning to what you're doing. Your art as well, man. I like your art. It's cool. I love the graffiti ones, and they look like they could be cool T-shirts.
Sometimes they are. It's just crazy. I know this conversation can go on forever, but I make hats. I'll just design a hat. I'll make a limited amount, and I give them to people. I made these hats. I said Cuban AF, and I gave them to some Bobby Cannavale, who's half Cuban. He asked for one. He's a buddy. I gave him one. I gave it to people. It's just a life, Galaxy. You know what I mean? It's just a life. It's life. Just live the art life. I don't know. Just get in there. Actually, that's a documentary I recommend everybody should see. The Art Life, a documentary about David Lynch. Because he's got it. Like, that guy, he understands it at a very high level,
That's where your mindset's kind of at the David Lynch mindset?
I mean, in a way, it's just, David Lynch, you have to watch it, his whole process and his whole, how he comes across things and how things occur to him. And, you do one thing and you think that leads you to the next thing. And you don't know. Everything is a stitch in the fabric of the whole thing, and you can't jump a stitch, jump a stitch, the sweater falls apart. Lynch started as a painter, he's a fine artist. Then he realized, I'll make a little tiny animation movie, and then he becomes David Lynch. But he starts as a painter. He doesn't start as a film director. It's interesting to watch.
Yeah, he's a damn good one too. He's very creative.
Oh my God, that brain! Imagine that brain.
Yeah.
Imagine his brain.
Yeah, the ideas they come up with, it's amazing. We watch these things. We're fans. We're viewers. And then there's creators. And the creators coming up with these things that we watch, we're like, oh, my God. Someone created that. It just didn't come from thin air. So imagine how the mindset is.
Well, that's it. Well, you just said the most important thing. Because people go, oh, I can do that. And I go, maybe you can do that, but you didn't think of it. He did it first. You might copy it, but you didn't think of it.
Absolutely. And your art looks pretty unique. It looks like something you created and you did first. It's a mixture of a few things that I've noticed, and it's really unique, and the layers are amazing. your photography. I think for you, what I'm trying to realize is you're a type of person that always has to create because you have all these things going on in your mind, whether it's creating with your body as an actor, with your voice, with your eyes, with your brain, with your thought, with your hands. It's always constant. I think if you don't create, you're not going to be the same Yul Vazquez, and it's not going to be good.
That's you're 100% right. The same guy you see playing Father Sheehan is the same guy who's making those paintings or taking the photograph or playing guitar. It's all the same guy.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And, it's some good stuff. It's of wide variety. It's like, okay, they don't want to see you act. They could watch your photos. They could see your paintings. There's so many different things. And just your household is creative. The household you're in, your wife, she's a Disney legend, and you guys are just involved in so many things that it's above just this role. A lot of people, they're youngsters and they love Midnight Texas, and that's all they, I think, know you from. But that's why I wanted to bring up everything else, because we all know Midnight Texas. Everybody knows, but there's so much more, and that's why I wanted to chat with you. I had my team. I said, you got to get me to interview Yul because I want to talk about so many other things that he's involved in that is so unique that the youngsters these days need to know beyond just going to Comic-Con events and, you work on a show where people are ghosts and vampires and demons. There's so much more, and that's so much more of you made you that character.
Well, thanks, man. I mean, I'm glad that you saw that, and, you're right. Most people, they love me in Texas and they'll know me from that. But, to me, it's always interesting. I always tell young actors, hey, have you seen this one? And they go, no. And I go, you know what? You should really watch that movie. Because what you're doing here came from, that was where it was first done. And that's how those guys were doing it. And you need to go back and get the backstory. But I'm glad you saw it, and I'm really glad we did this. And Jamie and Mila really made this happen. They championed this whole thing, and they pulled it together even with your voice. Come on, you can do this.
That's awesome.
Well, I just didn't want to come on the radio with sounding like some kind of crazy person, but
no,
good.
Man, you sound cool. You sound exactly like who you're supposed to be. Getting into photography and painting and all that is directing a path that you want to get into as you grow in this whole artistic world.
It's very interesting because people have asked me that, and you don't know this about me, but I hate people asking me questions. And directors, that's all that happens to them all day long, is people are asking them what we're going to do next. And I would be like, that looks like a horrible job. Everybody's looking at you to decide. I'm like, man, I don't want to decide much. So I don't think so. Maybe. You know what I mean? Maybe. Obviously, visually driven. So I might, it might happen. I don't know. I'm in the middle of developing a very terrifying idea with David Rosenthal, who directed the remake that's coming out soon of Jacob's Ladder, and it's got Ronnie Porto, Blue Capri, and I'll be part of the building that from the ground up. So who knows what might be involved in that, even just more than just an actor or a creator on it. But I do love to shoot stuff because I have a very clear idea of how I want things to look.
Of course, because you have a certain way that you do things. But I think we see you in the future being that director, creating some riveting movies and maybe some very graphic movies. You never know, that will boggle the mind. And I think that's where it's going. Who's the first person you share? Because I know at this level in your career, you pick and choose your roles. Who's the first person you share that with?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, I'm definitely enthusiastic about things. Well, the first person I share it with is Linda. But I get excited about stuff all the time. I get excited about the most mundane things. I mean, most of my photographs are about mundane objects. You know what I mean? But I'm excited about them in a different way. But yeah, I get excited. I'm excited. I have two amazing things coming out that I'm really excited about. One is called I Am the Night, which is a thing with Chris Pine on TNT. And then a show called Russian Doll with Natasha Lyonne that's going to be on Netflix. Very cool projects.
So those are the two new projects coming up. I know you can't share release dates or anything like
that. No, I can.
Oh, you can?
No, these are announced. Yeah. No, these are announced. I think I Am the Night comes out, I think, the 28th or 29th of January. And Russian Doll comes out, I think, like the 2nd of February. If I'm wrong, Milo will, or somebody. I mean, it's online. You'll know. Yeah, those have been announced. In fact, the trailers are out there. They look really cool. Patty Jenkins directed I Am the Night.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, it's going to be, there's some cool stuff cooking. I think I'll be back to talk to you about.
We would love to have you on the show and chat with you. You're a cool guy. We get that great vibe from you. And, we had a couple of your co-stars on the show, and they, everybody just talks so highly of each other and love each other so much. How was the experience on the show with all your co-stars and everyone? Would they come to you for advice?
I think they're all, I think they were all in their zone and doing their thing. It's hard, those things move at such a speed, but they're all really great people. They're all very nice people. And we had very nice directors come through, and it was a really nice experience to make that show. I mean, everybody was really cool. I mean, there were some tough days and long days and that kind of stuff, but it was, just really sort of good folks. And like, everybody worked hard, and, we got the show done. It's just a really nice group. Sometimes it's not always like that, but these happen to be really nice people.
That's great. Well, I heard that a lot from your co-stars. Sometimes you don't get along with them, but there was a wonderful experience. Everybody has a lot of respect for each other, and that's what you want. We don't see behind the scenes. We see the show, and then you get all these crazy fans out there that love it. Have you experienced a Comic-Con event yet?
I did at the Comic-Con in San Diego. When we launched the show, that was insane. That's crazy.
Well, I know you've probably experienced it with your wife, because she probably goes to a ton of Comic-Con events because of her voice.
She does. She goes to a lot of those. I don't go. I've gone to D23 with her because when she became a legend. But that's a different kind of event. But she does. My wife does a lot of conventions.
That's awesome. So I know your voice is hurting. I know your throat is bad. I don't want to keep asking questions because I feel so bad. You're you're getting him out there though. You're a trooper, man. I appreciate that so much for you to come out to Comic-Con Radio and bless these airwaves and chat with us.
It's a pleasure, man. Thank you so much, Galaxy.
No, always. You have an open door here. We would always love to chat with you. Anytime you have anything going on, you send a quick message. You are a VIP for us, and you're a great gentleman, and it was really awesome chatting with you. Is there anything you want to announce to the world and all these fans out there about anything else going on that you would like to say, because they love you?
Advice to everyone is to always remember that they are enough.
That's pretty powerful, man. That is.
That's it.
That is.
That's all you got to be is you. Yeah.
That is. You are enough. You're more than enough. And you, my man, you're more than enough, because look at you, from one human being, you got your eyeballs working as a photographer, your hands painting, your mouth talking, your body acting, you're playing the guitar, a musician. There's nothing you haven't done artistic, and it shows. And we can't wait to see you in more movies and TV shows to come. And hopefully you come back on Midnight Texas and make an appearance, because all the fans are going gooky, geeky, and crazy for it. Hey, wherever you're at and whatever you do, I know you're going to have a ton of people watching you and following you. But we appreciate your time. So fans out there, if you want to check out Yul's website, is Yul Vazquez with a Z at the end.com. We'll leave it in the description on the show. On social media, what's your social media? Instagram or Twitter, if you want them to reach out?
My Twitter is my name, Yul Vazquez, Vazquez. And my Instagram is Yuluminati. So it's like Illuminati, but Yuluminati. Yuluminati.
And now I know why on your website is Wizard and your page is Illuminati, because, you're living that life, brother. And that's it.
Yeah, man. Galaxy, thank you so much, man.
You got it. So we're going to close the show out right now, and at the end we do this. I say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Galaxy with Yul Vazquez, and we're signing out of Comic-Con Radio, and I blow them 1,000 kisses. And if you can do that, that'd be great. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Mwah, 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 mwah.
There you go, Yul.
Mwah, 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 mwah.
Kiss you guys.
Thanks,
that's it. There you go. All the ladies out there are just grabbing it in the air, and putting it in their pockets. So That's it. We're signing out of the airways. Thank you so much. Till next time. Peace. Love you guys.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Galaxy signing out from another amazing episode of Comic-Con Radio. Tune in for your daily shows of Comic-Con Radio. Go to comicon-radio.com. Reach us on social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, at Comic-Con Radio. You can call us toll-free right now. 800-976-0305. 800-976-0305. Comic-Con Radio, taking the world one listener at a time.